80-74. As Illinois slide, Kevin, without Visich continues. Now you've lost what? 3 of 4. I know only 2 of 3 without a Visich, but again, you just have such a poor shooting half in the first half. You spend the entire second half catching up, trying to catch up, and it's just not enough. Let's start with Nebraska, though, because I think this win meant something for them, and this loss meant something for Illinois. On the Nebraska side, what does this do for them, Kevin, in terms of their resume and tournament hopes, and just kind of where they sit right now in the picture?
Yeah, they were never as far away, from the bubble, despite those 6 straight losses, as you would think. And that sounds crazy to say, right? You can lose 6 straight and not be out of it. But I really felt like because of the wins that they had, especially beating Creighton on the road is a monster win. You get that in November. You get a couple more early conference wins, including the win over UCLA, and you got a shot. So now you get a strong home court win against Illinois, and you start building back the resume. Again, a lot more work to be done. You're 3-7 in the league. You probably got to get close to 500, but the path to doing that started tonight in Lincoln, and I thought their effort was really strong. I thought they were disruptive defensively. I thought they did a really good job of kind of taking Yakashonis and making him uncomfortable, showing him different looks. Illinois, obviously not the same team without a Visich. His ability to space the floor is game changing. But I thought Williams made big shots, and I thought Nebraska was the more disciplined. They executed better late in the game. Like they didn't make all the shots, but they consistently got really good shots on side out and baseline out of bounds in the final 8 minutes or so of regulation, and then into overtime. And you do the right thing like that over and over again. Eventually, the ball's going to bounce your way, and it did tonight.
Yeah, Jarrell, I mean, this Nebraska team had lost 6 in a row. I mean, it was kind of going the wrong way for them. And even some of those at home, I mean, that's such a hard place to win, but they had even kind of lost some ground there. So just how important was this for Nebraska trying to get their season right?
I mean, it was a huge opportunity for them tonight, and I think that obviously the stars kind of aligned with Illinois battling. Obviously with some guys on their team being sick and the Visich being out, so things kind of lined up for them. Illinois doesn't have a ton of depth right now in their front court, and to be honest with you, I was shocked that this game ended up as close as it was, and it's not just because of a talent perspective, but Illinois just didn't play well. Again, it's just another night of them hoisting away threes, hoping that somebody gets hot. I think that's a bit of a recipe for disaster. Nebraska was very adamant of just about going inside. They got Morez in foul trouble pretty much the entire game. Right away, he had 2 fouls early in the first half, and they just never took their foot off the pedal. And for Illinois to come out and to shoot 42 threes on the road, 10 for 42 from the 3 on the road. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. This is the makeup of their team. This is the team that Underwood built. They want to shoot a lot of threes. They don't want a lot of, for the most part, in between shots. They're playing a little bit of Daryl Morey ball right now. They want stuff at the rim, free throws, and 3-pointers. But I'm just not convinced all the time that that's going to be a recipe that's going to turn out good results, man, because they don't have enough guys that are shooting at a high enough clip. And the 2 things that I was worried about with Illinois just in general was that at times I felt like they weren't physical enough. They didn't have enough good enough individual defenders, and then they just don't have a lot of guys on the perimeter that can consistently put pressure on the rim to score and not just driving it to pass to kick out for threes. Like they don't have any attacking guards on the perimeter that can get downhill and get to the line consistently. Don't get me wrong, Yakashonis can do it, but it's like 90% of the time he's going in there is going to be some type of touch shot, a floater, or it's going to be a kick out to a wide open guy for a tray ball, man. So it's just it's hard to win like that if you don't make shots consistently. Obviously, guys are going to make more shots at home, and tonight they just weren't falling. And they murdered Nebraska on the glass. I mean, it's really the only reason that they were even in the game, were able to crawl back into it, which is just the weirdest stat ever. But, Nebraska, they lucked up, stars aligned for them, and a big win like that is one of the benefits and perks of playing in a good conference, because now they'll be right back in the mix at least.
Yeah, Kevin, I agree with everything Jarrell just said, because I will say this first and foremost. I thought most of the perimeter shots were good, other than that Boswell shot that poked somebody's eye out in the crowd there late in the second half. So I thought most of them were pretty good, but I found myself watching them. Clearly your three has failed you tonight, and what they didn't have, and I don't know, maybe this is not having a Vicic, although it doesn't feel like it to me. They didn't sort of have that intermediate creator. In theory, maybe it's supposed to be Boswell, but like they just didn't have that intermediate creator that they could go to and say, hey, like get us out of this mud that we're in right now. And that's why you keep getting the 3 attempts and they continue to not fall, although it did even out in the second half. But what do you make of just their offense and what you saw from them?
I mean, they're built to take the threes. Like that's how they recruited. It's the guy, and these guys should be making shots. Like Ben Humrichous is not going to shoot 0 for 7 from 3 very often, but like it's happened a little too often lately. Like he has really struggled, and you recruit a guy to essentially be a shooter. Like just go out there and shoot. He's not rebounding the ball. He's not passing the ball. Like Ben Humrichous is out there to shoot, and he's 0 for 7. Right. And Boswell, like, I mean, you joked about the one, but like he has really struggled shooting the basketball. And, I think they've really tried to optimize their team around Yakashonis. He is an incredible playmaker, and they try to put kind of perfect role players around them. But when perfect role players don't play their role, it falls apart very quickly. And I think that's what they're feeling right now. I think it certainly hurts to not have a Vicic because, number one, they can play 5 out, and it opens the lanes a little bit for Boswell and for Yakashonis to drive it and pressure the rim, like Jarrell said. He's also a guy that can pass as like a short roll playmaker, so they can cut off of him when they play in the ball screen and get guys to the rim that way. They're not built to space it and drive it otherwise. And I think really the only guy that does is Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn. And at some point, like he's just got to be in the game. I thought his energy tonight was huge. Made the 3 to tie it in regulation. But, like, that guy changes the game when he's on the floor for Illinois because of his energy, because of how hard he plays, because he can actually get to the rim. And he is a dog defensively, too. Like, Boswell is a better defender, but Boswell has been so bleak on the offensive end at times here in the last couple of weeks. Like, I would be thinking about more Draven Gibbs-Lawhorn and less Kylan Boswell.
Wow.